Hello, darlings. I haven't made one of these in a while, so let's get it started. All right, so you did vocabulary on this page the other day, the powers of Congress. So what does that mean? Well, this is what Congress can do according to the Constitution and not according to the Constitution. Little cry. All right, so we know that Congress is the legislative branch. So it has two names. And we know that it's made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And the Senate is smaller and the House of Representatives is bigger because House of Representatives we have them based on population in the census. And the Senate, every state gets 2 senators, and there's 50 states, so 2 times 50 is 100. But for House of Representatives, we have 435 members. So if you add all that together, we have 535 men and women in Congress, because we have both houses together. So let's look at what they can do. So the powers of Congress. Congress has expressed powers and implied powers. Many powers of Congress are written in the Constitution. Because the Constitution lists these powers, they are called express powers. Okay, so if it's written down in the Constitution, it's expressed. EXPRESSED. So that's what we're first going to talk about. And if you're a little confused, it says it right here. Powers of Congress that are listed in the Constitution. So, expressed powers. So some of these powers include, and these are not all of them, there's actually a lot. There's about 17 to 18 if you include the implied. Asking for and collecting federal taxes. So federal taxes means taxes for the whole country, and that helps pay for the Army, the Navy, all that. Borrowing money for the United States. So if the U.S. needs money, Congress is the one who borrows it. They take out a loan. Making laws about trade. Okay, so they're in charge of trade for this country. Making laws about naturalization. And if you look over here and remember from your notes, naturalization is right here, and it's becoming a citizen by choice rather than birth. So it's set, let's say you move here from Ecuador and you want to become a citizen. You go through the naturalization process, which we're going to learn next. Well, in a while. Okay. Printing paper money, making coins, and deciding how much each bill and coin is worth. Remember, just because it's $1 doesn't mean it just means it's $1. Sometimes $1 can get you a lot. Sometimes it can get you very little. Punishing counterfeiters. Okay, so if we look over here, counterfeiters are people who make fake money. So the people who are printing the fake stuff, the no bueno stuff, that is a counterfeiter. Making laws about patents and copyrights. So if you invent something and you don't want someone to steal your invention, you get a patent or a copyright. And Congress makes those laws. Organizing the mail delivery system. So when you get mail or a package from USPS, the white trucks, the United States Postal Service, that is owned by Congress. Congress is in charge of that. Where are we? Setting up lower courts under the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is its own court, and Congress does not have power over them. But Congress has power over every court under the Supreme Court, which is all courts, because the Supreme Court's the highest and nothing goes above them. Declaring war. So can the president declare war? No, only Congress can. Because think about it, that's 535 people voting for war compared to just one president voting for war. The president can ask for war, but he or she cannot declare war. Building an army and a navy. So they use the tax money, the federal tax money, to create an army and a navy and to provide for them, to keep us safe and our defenses safe. And helping to run the government of Washington, D.C. So remember, Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States of America. So that is where the president lives, the White House. That's where Congress meets for their big stuff. That's where the Supreme Court meets. That's where the big stuff happens, all right? So those are just some of the powers. Let's keep going. So Congress also has some powers that are not listed in the Constitution. These powers are called implied powers. The Constitution says Congress is allowed to make laws to help carry out its expressed powers. This section of the Constitution is called the Elastic Clause. It is called the Elastic Clause because it lets Congress stretch its power. Okay, so what does elastic mean? Perfect. Elastic means it's stretchy. So, girls, chicas, you have hair bands, right? They're also called elastic bands because they stretch to go over our hair. So this is what the Elastic Clause, it's stretching to allow Congress to do more work, to have more power. And it lets them stretch their power. So think elastic, stretchy. The Constitution lists things Congress cannot do. For example, Congress cannot put a tax on exports. So they can't tax stuff that we sell to other countries. It cannot pass laws that go against the Constitution, and it cannot give people titles of nobility. So you can't move to America and become the Prince of America. We don't have a prince. We don't have a princess. We don't have a queen or a king. We have president. We have democracy. And they can't call you a lord or a lady. You could be a lord or a lady in England, but not in America. Okay. Congress is not allowed to make ex post facto laws. This means that a person cannot be arrested or taken to court for doing something that was not a crime when he or she did it. For example, say a person downloads some music on Monday. On Tuesday, a law is passed that makes it illegal to download music. The person who downloaded the music on Monday cannot be arrested or taken to court. The person downloaded the music before it became illegal. Therefore, that person has not broken the law. So remember, ex post facto means after the fact. So you can't get in trouble after the fact. Don't worry about that one too much. Also, Congress is not allowed to pass bills of attainder. A bill of attainder is a law that punishes a person for a crime without having a trial. So in America, you always get a trial. Whether they have so much dirt on you and they know you're guilty right away, you still get a trial. This rule means that a person must be found guilty at a trial before being punished. And lastly, Congress is not allowed to take away the right to habeas corpus. This means that people cannot be held in jail without a good reason. The only time Congress can take away this right is for public safety. The Constitution lists 2 times when Congress is allowed to take away this right. These 2 times are during a rebellion or an invasion. So they can only, it's called the writ of habeas corpus, and they can only suspend it if we are in rebellion or invasion. And if you've ever seen cop shows or anything, the writ of habeas corpus is when they tell you why you're being arrested. So, Kaylin Elizabeth English I, you are being arrested for being too awesome. If they didn't tell me why I was being arrested, that's illegal. But if we were in a state of rebellion or invasion, then they can suspend it and not tell me. Because maybe my awesomeness is just a threat. Can't say why. But that is the powers of Congress. We are almost done with the legislative branch. I know it's taking quite a long time. I hope you're getting some fresh air because it is gorgeous out. Look at it. Look at it. And I miss you all so much. And it's almost summer, so be pumped. Goodbye.